It's 11:47 p.m. You tell yourself just 5 minutes, one quick scroll, nothing more. But you already know how this ends. One video becomes two, two becomes 10, and suddenly, the night is gone. You don't remember deciding to stay up. You just ended up here. Now here's something uncomfortable. Before you even picked up your phone tonight, there was already a very high chance this exact moment would happen. Not because someone is watching you, not because your phone is listening, but because something far more silent has been studying you for years. Your patterns, your pauses, your weaknesses you never talk about. And slowly, it learned something about you, something you might not fully know yourself. So the question is simple. If your phone built a profile of you based only on what you do, not what you say, not what you promise, would you recognize the person it describes, or would it feel like meeting a stranger? Chapter 1. The illusion of self-knowledge. Most people believe they understand themselves. It feels obvious. I know what I want. I know my habits. I know who I am. But life has a quiet contradiction built into it. What we believe about ourselves and what we actually do are often two different stories. Someone says health matters, but movement disappears from their routine. Someone says they want success, but distraction becomes their daily environment. Someone says they want discipline, yet every day ends the same way, with delay. We don't usually notice this gap because the mind is very good at explaining behavior after it happens. We tell ourselves stories. We call it tiredness, stress, lack of time, and slowly those stories replace reality. For most of history, this contradiction stayed invisible. There was no system tracking it, no record of it, no mirror strong enough to reflect it back. Then the smartphone arrived, and everything changed. Chapter 2. The stranger in your pocket. At first it felt harmless, a tool for communication, a camera, a map, a small window into the world. But quietly, it became something else, a recorder of behavior. Not the polished version you show others, but the unfiltered version you live in. Private. Every search reveals curiosity. Every pause reveals interest. Every late-night scroll reveals vulnerability. And even more revealing, the things you almost did. The video you hovered over but didn't click. The message you typed, then deleted. The product you considered for too long. The post you returned to twice before scrolling away. To you, these moments disappear instantly. But to a system built on prediction, they are the most valuable data of all, because hesitation is honest. More honest than words. More honest than intentions. And over time, these fragments start forming something powerful. A behavioral fingerprint. Not who you say you are, but who you repeatedly become. Chapter 3. The digital mirror. Imagine someone followed you for 10 years. They never sleep, never forget, never lose focus. They simply observe. Every place you go, every habit you repeat, every choice you delay. Even then, they would still miss something your phone captures effortlessly. Because your phone doesn't just observe actions, it observes rhythm. Your daily cycles, your emotional timing, the exact moments your attention weakens, the hours you become impulsive, the patterns you repeat without noticing. Humans believe they are unpredictable, but behavior tells a different story. We are far more consistent than we think. We return to the same habits, the same triggers, the same emotional shortcuts. And once those patterns are clear enough, prediction becomes easy. Not perfect, but disturbingly accurate. Chapter 4. The algorithm that learns you. Here's where things shift. Your phone doesn't just store behavior, it learns from it. Every tap teaches it something. Every scroll refines the model. Every second of attention becomes feedback. And slowly, it begins to anticipate you. Not because it understands you, like a human does, but because it has seen millions of people like you before. And humans, despite feeling unique, are statistically predictable. You open the app at the same time. You linger on similar content. You respond to similar emotions. You fall into familiar loops, and the system learns those loops faster than you notice them. It doesn't guess randomly. It calculates probabilities. What will keep this person engaged longer? What will they likely watch next? What will they struggle to ignore? And then it responds, not once, but constantly, until prediction and influence start blending together. Chapter 5. When prediction starts shaping you. This is where most people misunderstand the system. They think it only reflects behavior, but reflection is only the beginning. Because once something learns what holds your attention, it begins to feed it back to you. You watch one video about fitness, then another, then suddenly your feed becomes a version of you that is interested in fitness. You watch one emotional video, then another, then your world slowly becomes more emotional. You watch one negative headline, then another, and gradually your perception of reality shifts. Not dramatically, not suddenly, but quietly, repeatedly, consistently, until one day you realize something strange. Your feed feels more you than your actual thoughts. And that's the moment things get uncomfortable. Because now the question is no longer, what is the phone showing me? But instead, what has the phone slowly turned me into? Chapter 6. The gap between words and actions. There is something deeply revealing about human behavior. We often overestimate our intentions and underestimate our habits. We say we are disciplined, but our routines tell another story. We say we value time, but we give it away in fragments. We say we want change, but repetition keeps pulling us back, and the phone records none of our claims, only our actions, which means it builds a version of us that is brutally honest. Not the version we present, but the version we live. And sometimes, those two versions don't match at all. Chapter 7. The moment of recognition. Now imagine this. You could see a complete record of your digital behavior from the past 10 years. Every click, every pause, every habit, every late-night session you forgot about the next morning. What would it show? Would it reflect your ambitions or your attention? Would it describe the person you think you are or the person your behavior proves you are becoming? This is where the mirror flips, because the phone stops being a device and starts becoming a reflection, not of your face, but of your choices. The uncomfortable truth here is what most people never realize. Your phone doesn't know you because it is intelligent. It knows you because it observes you without interruption. No bias, no ego, no excuses, just behavior. Meanwhile, most people spend their entire lives distracted from themselves, too busy reacting to notice patterns forming, too busy consuming to notice who they are becoming, and that is the real imbalance. Not that machines understand humans, but that humans rarely observe themselves with the same consistency. Your phone is not the enemy. It is not conscious. It is not trying to control you. It is simply doing one thing extremely well, recording reality. But here is the deeper question. If a machine can learn your patterns just by watching your behavior, what could you learn about yourself if you did the same? Because the moment you start observing your own actions honestly, something shifts. The pattern breaks. The loop becomes visible, and awareness returns. So tonight, before you open another app, ask yourself something simple. If your behavior wrote your autobiography, would you be proud of the story it tells? Or would it reveal something you've been avoiding all along? And if that gap exists between who you believe you are and who you repeatedly become, which version is actually in control?